now calling on a speech from the groom. That's the husband of Mrs. Samantha White.
Mr. Samantha Swainston.
I'm not going to use this.
No. I'm quite glad, first of all, that your speeches were quite brief. If anyone's got any bets on the length of the times of those speeches and mine, I don't know if that's going on. It usually does when I'm involved, sat on the other side of the table. Then I've got two lucky numbers, 8 and 17. That's why I proposed on the 17th of August. Very superstitious person. I'd like to point out it's going to be closer to 17 than 8, so sit and relax. If you need to take a chocolate soft burger, do that. Okay. Before I start getting into the flow, I think it might be worth mentioning as well that there might be several toasts during this evening. So please could you all ensure that your glasses are charged, and can someone remind Cinderella over there that it's, Bradley, that he may want to sip, not gulp throughout the day, because today's a marathon, not a sprint. It genuinely makes me the happiest man alive to be able to stand here and say, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, on behalf of, and I'll get it out of the way early, my wife and I... Welcome to our wedding, and thank you sincerely for sharing this special day with us. The length that some of you have gone to in order to be here today, we really, really appreciate. We know that some of you are taking quite a lot of time off work, and obviously that some people have travelled very long distances to be here. Tom and Joan, I don't know if you know, Tom and Joan have spent 5 days travelling in their camper van to be here, travelling from Spain. Phil and Jill over there, my second parents, decided to go the slightly quicker route coming from Spain and flew. And then there's Rachel, I'm just trying to remember, and Rachel, who has flown here all the way from Australia just to be here at our wedding. She obviously didn't choose British Airways. We just won't go there. Okay, as tradition kind of goes, I would like to thank Samantha's mum and dad, Muriel and Jimmy, and her sisters Claire and Rebecca, for accepting me into their fantastic family right from day, well, I want to say day 1, but probably day 2 is slightly more accurate. The reason I say that, before people go, ooh, we were travelling up to visit the Swainstons for the first time, and we were listening to Samantha's favourite radio station, 5 Live. And there was one match in particular that was on, which was Everton versus Sunderland. And just before we pulled up, and I'm sort of probably less nervous than I was today, but not far off, about meeting the family, Everton scored. In the car, I can celebrate this one. Got to get inside now. Walked in. All right, David. Would you like a beer? Yeah, yes, please, Jimmy. All right. Come in, sit in here. Whilst he's getting me a beer, 2-0. On the local radio in the front room. How do I celebrate this one? Not. Brings the beer in. Ah, shite. Scored again. Yes, we did. Do you want a glass with that? I'm thinking, well, actually, I better try and impress them with the first time. Yes, I will have a glass with that. Goes and gets a glass. 3-0. They're going, I don't know. Comes in, there's a glass. Shite. Okay, poured it. 2 minutes later, yeah, I know you don't believe this. 4-0. Do you want me to drink this outside? I think to be fair, after that result, I think Jimmy prefers us arriving on a Saturday after the football scores come in, and usually about the same time when he gets home from work. Apparently, I am an excuse to open a beer from the fridge.
It's sociable.
Yeah. The Swainstons have also provided me with my first Christmas Day experience away from my own family. I'm really glad that I swatted up on the words to a Muppets Christmas Carol, otherwise I'd have been truly left out. However, nothing...
It's tradition.
Dad's tradition.
Sorry. posterity. However, nothing prepared me for Muriel's interpretation of Give Us a Clue. They'd actually got us some quite posh crackers, you know, not just the toy, a joke, and then also a little Give Us a Clue game in it. And during the evening, we'd had a few drinks. Claire, what's the matter? And Muriel stands up, it's her go. You can play if you want.
7 words.
Right, play.
Film. Book. 5th word. Motorbike. Bike. 7th word. Dancing.
At which point Jimmy gets up and Muriel's getting frustrated that, like the rest of you, you're not getting words 5 and 7 right. Walks over and Muriel goes, well, you do it then. And Jimmy went, and I swear it was hello, and he actually said, you stupid woman. But in a more northern way, he went, you daft bugger, that's the joke. Muriel's also on a par with my mum for chatting and talking at you and at you and at you, and sometimes she listens when you talk back.
You never listen to me.
Left ear.
As we're just experiencing.
Yes. But seriously, I've never had the chance to thank you properly, so thank you for raising a beautiful, on a good day, intelligent, and on every day a loving daughter. And hey, look, nobody else turned up here 7 hours early for a dinner, for the food tasting, just because they were hungry. Sometimes intelligent.
Genuine mistake.
But every day a loving and caring daughter, and of course for letting me have her hand in marriage. Rebecca, thank you for agreeing to be our witness today and baking such wonderful cakes in the tea room. I particularly appreciated the blue and white ones. Claire, thank you for the beautiful reading and for the painting of the wonderful picture of Warkworth Castle that you did, and for keeping the engagement party secret from your family. I really appreciate that on that day. Okay, now to my family. I'd like to thank my mum and dad, Philip, Helen, Lou and Liam, for their love and support over the years and for welcoming Samantha into our family. Over the years, my family have helped me probably more than I deserve, and I hope today that I've made them quite proud. I really couldn't have asked for a better mum and dad, brother and sister, brother-in-law and sister-in-law. I thank you for everything that you've done, and I love you all very dearly. It's probably very rare to find a family that will go months and months walking around charity shops trying to find all of these fine pewter tankards that you've got on your tables. There was a rule that it had to be under £2. My sister went slightly to the extreme. She worked in a nursery and walked into a Save the Children where one was priced at £3 and then said, I'm on a budget. This is for a nursery play. Will you take £2? Helen, thanks as well, along with Claire, for keeping the proposal day a secret. The Songer side of you must have been killing inside. That's the one we know as Nan.
Just point.
Yeah. Thank you also, Helen and Liam, for making our wedding cake. I'm sure everyone is looking forward to trying it later. Again, Nan. Eyeing it up. Look, seeing it. Not paying attention to me. Spotted it, haven't you? I'd just like to point out Helen's wedding, she didn't even wait for it to be cut before she went up to try and eat it. Since then, she now uses a wheelchair. I'm sorry, that's not accurate. To Philip, my brother, but much more. When he eventually answers his phone, Philip has always been quick to either help me, advise me, support me, and most of all laugh with me. And our sibling relationship is really quite special. I know how excited he was to help Ben with the running of my stag do, and particularly the making of the costumes, which it's very rare as well. Your mum makes your stag do outfit. Not the glittery Speedos which Ben kindly lent me from his collection. When I was growing up, I particularly valued his support whenever I was playing football for my Sunday or Saturday league teams. I can honestly tell you there was no better feeling when I scored a goal and I looked across to the sideline and my dad just went like that. He didn't even say anything, he just went like that, and that was really, really, really special for me. I also enjoyed the pound per goal bonus. On the flip side, I am still slightly scarred from quite a rainy football match that we attended once, and one of my colleagues that I was playing with shot. The ball looked like it was going in the goal. I ran towards it, assumed it was going in the goal, and it kind of stuck in the mud and about the penalty spot. Dad was disgraced that I didn't follow it up. He went and sat in the car and didn't talk to me the whole way home. Absolutely true. I think I've taken some of those techniques from my dad in my teaching now, so quite strangely that there's three ex-pupils here, John, Simon and Berger, Philmont Berger, let's be honest, Berger, who will probably back me up on the slightly rougher side of the psychological attack on children. To my mum, right, pause. Apart from the obvious, it is possible I wouldn't be here today without my mum. Mummy boys, that's why I said apart from the obvious. Mummy's boy really doesn't do the phrase credit. Thanks for every little thing you've ever done for me. I do remember everything. Especially for every quick 55-minute phone calls we have, just a quick call, where whatever stress level I'm on, and I've been quite stressed recently, nothing to do with the wedding, BA, again, won't mention them again. I love the way that my mum is prepared to talk at me for 55 minutes and not let me speak, just to try and relax me. My mum is the single greatest influence on moulding me into the person I am today, minus the alcohol. I probably don't tell you often enough how much I appreciate you, but I really do. I think, a little summary, I think without both sets of our parents and our family today, we really would not have been able to have today possible. We're supposed to now pass over some gifts, but you look like
They are here. They're here. It's all right.
No, but you can bring those ones over. I'll do them in a minute. It's all right. We have got some gifts. They're practical presents. We know how you wouldn't want something that's not practical. Okay, next on to the bridesmaids. Ladies. 1, 2, 3. I knew where they were sat. Jill, Laura, and Lamb. You all look stunning today, and I'm sure everyone here would agree. Thank you for all the love and support you have given Samantha over the years. And for keeping her calm over the last 24 hours or so. Job, I don't really envy you, especially last night when most of you were probably pissed. Personally, I'm just grateful you have helped Samantha with all those things that I really wanted to be involved in, but just couldn't find the time. Shoes, colours, dresses, hair, makeup, really, thank you very much. Earrings.
All the earrings.
Earrings, buttons, yeah, those sort of things. The next couple of thanks go to Laura, who won't be expecting this. Where's Laura? Over there. And to Matt, who should be there. Good. For whom we have, Laura's helped so much. We've got a couple of gifts which I'd like my brother to take over to them in a second. So Phil, you need to wake up just because I've spoken about you.
Just call me, you know.
Okay. Thanks to Laura, who in 5 short lessons has given us a first dance that is a far more spectacular version of the walk around slowly dance. We also have quite a lot of Strictly Come Dancing fans in here tonight. So if Belly or Dave, probably Dave, could be Craig. Laura, you can obviously be Darcy. Dad, as the old man, you can be Len. And as the closest thing to an excitable gay Italian, Signori, you can be Bruce. To be fair, actually, Mama Signori has made us some special limoncello, the fact that we met in Sorrento for us, and hopefully John, at the end of the desserts, he'll be bringing around a shot for most of you to have. So I really appreciate that. Thanks to Matt, my unofficial little brother, for playing the intro music to Samantha walking down the aisle. Hopefully, oh yeah. Hopefully you will be slightly more sophisticated in drinking that bottle that we've just given you there than you were on the stag do. This time use a glass. Easy though, because it's called Mad Boy and it's a vintage Shiraz. Speaking of Shiraz, what good link to my ushers. I'm very fortunate to have so many close friends throughout my life, and rightly or wrongly, these gentlemen are my closest aides. Eddie and Al have been my friends since I was a child, and always looked after me. I really treasure my school days. I think that might have been one of the reasons why I decided to be a teacher, and it was their friendship and my part-time job with Our Iceland. Those stories are quite incredible. We managed to drag out 6 years of being allowed to come back and work there. It was no real surprise then when Ben gave me the choice of who to room with on the stag do, that I chose them to sort of like be the National Guard and prevent members of the dark side of the force, Shiraz. That wasn't a racist joke. From entering the room after I passed out. To Toby, Toby has had both the pleasure of living and travelling with me, and he's still here, although he's just left school. I'd written this bit before then. He's also been my personal trainer since September, and I've lost nearly a stone and a half to look half decent next to my beautiful wife. Thanks for the bullying early in the mornings, Toby, although some credit should also go to Lindsay, because no one ever mentions her in a speech. for training with me to do the marathon. Finally, to Shiraz, or El Grenade, which most of you will find out while there. Shiraz has worked so hard to help us. Along with Muriel's fantastic research skills and Samantha's creative skills, between them they produced these amazing wedding favours that are on the back of your chairs. And really, I think they're all for you to take away, those family crests. I think he had absolutely no idea what the role of an usher was, and still probably doesn't. So therefore I tended to give him all the jobs. It's amazing that actually he's managed to sort of like create all of these shields, because I tend to think as a DT teacher all he does is sand wood, but hasn't he sanded it well? Thanks guys for all the help on the run-up of today, and today it's now time for you to open those envelopes, but not quite yet. Before you do, Ben, Philip, Jimmy and Dad, you also have envelopes to open. You can see today that, you know, I'm fortunate enough that I'm going to keep my wedding suit, but we had to hire the other ones, and I basically, and there's a chief culprit around here somewhere, but I don't trust any of you not to collect a few dinner medals today, so if you could just open your envelopes, please. That includes me. Yeah. If you could just all stand up so that the crowd can see.
Lovely.
Okay. Now, Shiraz, Al, Toby and Eddie, if you could just stay stood up, the rest of you can sit down. You might have noticed there that the writing has got nothing, or just it's fluke that it looks a bit like Star Wars. Before you go thinking that these guys are the next best thing to Saints, I would like to remind you of a couple of these points. I'm going to look down now so I don't give anything away. No, I've looked down quite a lot. One of these men used to sneak me into the pub when I was only 16. One of these men has a mum that said after a particular drunk night out, "I'll put him in bed with me and I'll say what a great night we had when he wakes up." One of these men illegally let me drive his car around Australia, and one of these men I was wrongly arrested with for armed robbery. Gents, could you sit down, please? Okay. Lastly, big pause again. Lastly, my wife. No, not quite lastly, because somebody over there would get slightly jealous if I to Ben, my best man and best mate, a shy man who's going to invent and embellish some stories about me in a few minutes' time. Ben is a fount of wisdom and knowledge, and the only person in the world that you can text at any time with the words "in the Navy," and you know that he will respond with all the in-between lines that nobody else knows. Ben, you kind of shocked me with the organisation of what has become known as an epic stag do, mainly because you do everything lastminute.com. It says here, don't mention the suit fitting. It's fair to say only Ben could walk into a service station at the end of that stag weekend, cruise past a mirror and say, "For someone feeling so dreadful, I still look so damn hot." I actually wanted to play Sexy back as an intro to his speech, but was not allowed. Ben is truly someone that, you know, I don't think in any way my life could be complete without my friendship with Ben. He is without doubt the easiest guest, although Jill is a close second now for us to host, as long as there's fine wine and burgers. Ben, thanks in advance for the lovely words you're about to say about Samantha, and obviously the appropriate words you're going to say about me. Now, lastly, my wife. Now, it's not often you get to marry your best friend, and that is exactly what I'm doing. Not only that, I truly believe Samantha is my soulmate. The definition of what a soulmate actually is, and it states, a soul's ideal counterpart which must be found for true happiness and fulfillment. If I had to single out one thing about why I love Samantha, it would be the fact that she makes me happier than I ever dreamed I could be. There is not one thing more I could ask for in my life right now, so I guess that means I'm pretty fulfilled too. Samantha and I have a relationship where I could spend every waking minute together with her and not get bored. We both have very different interests, or had very different interests. Mine is sports and Samantha's wasn't. Until she met me. She's taken this on, and I think one of my proudest moments, although I wasn't very well at the time, was the fact that Samantha ran the London Marathon this year when she really didn't even run for the bus before she met me. That commitment was quite amazing. She can also name the whole of the Everton team, which puts lots of the other females in the room to shame when their boyfriends, particularly somebody like Fat Bill Bailey, where is he over there? He goes, "Sorry," again a little intro. When he asks Lamb to name players, she goes "Debouche," and that's about it. She also has learnt to like cricket. I think that had more to do with the fact that when we were on holiday camping, we found a beautiful, quaint little cricket ground and drank during the whole day in the sun, and then met the team in the pub afterwards, and again we drank most of the evening and had a lock-in, so then she went, "Cricket's great." But it was probably the sporting passion that she showed most at Wembley when England played Scotland that I was secretly so proud with. Halfway through the match, she was hit by a pie thrown by one of the Scottish supporters. She turned around and went, "I really want to win now." How can they afford to waste a pie? Samantha, food is one of Samantha's passions. Its creation and consumption is a common interest of us. And sorry, Mum, she does do the best Sunday roasts. Samantha is my absolute rock, and I've probably bored everybody here on many occasions talking about the preparation of this wedding. Our main interests, though, are each other and planning for our future. Well, Samantha project manages it, and it helps to actually keep me calm. There may be people from my department here who say I'm a control freak as well. I hope that one day in our planned futures we will have children, because Samantha would make the best mum in the world. I know you will be a great mum, because whilst sitting on the couch knitting your 100th pair of Minion gloves, you made a comment about someone's personality on the telly, at which point my mum, sitting knitting on the chair next to her, said, "You're not going to like this, but you're just like me." I think it was this general irrational hatred of Lorraine Kelly. Samantha, it was so brave of you to take a chance of someone pole dancing in their pants in a karaoke bar, living 5 hours away and choosing to turn your life upside down on the chance of an us. What a great decision for me.
Wasn't a joke.
Laughing in the wrong time. Okay, I don't know who they are, but they say you don't marry someone you can live with, you marry the person you can't live without, and I couldn't live without you. A great marriage must be created where the little things are the big things. We will never be too old to hold hands, and we always remember to say I love you at least once each day. We never ever go to sleep angry. We talk it out, you're right, and then we go to sleep. Our partnership includes forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family and having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. Our marriage will provide each other with an atmosphere in which we can grow, we can learn new skills with emotional and caring support. I believe it's not only marrying the right partner, it's being the right partner. And something we always say to each other, home is definitely wherever you are. Anyway, I'd like to finish by taking the opportunity to first of all tell Samantha how beautiful you look every day, but especially today. And secondly, to thank you for all the hard work and time you put in to make today such a success. And believe me, it's been a lot of time. So I'd like everyone to stand, please. Raise their glass. And join me in making a toast to my wife, to the most beautiful bride in the world, Samantha, family and friends.
Samantha.
You may sit down.